Every autumn in Japan, when the last of the golden rice fields of Niigata have been harvested, a different kind of season quietly begins. It's not about crops or festivals. It's about living jewels. Nishikigoi. The koi harvest season marks the busiest, most emotional time of the year for Japan's koi breeders. For months, these breeders have been waiting for this very moment to see the results of their work, patience, and faith. Hidden deep in the mountains, hundreds of mud ponds have nurtured thousands of koi since spring. These ponds are special, fed by crystal-clear mountain water, enriched by natural minerals, and surrounded by wild vegetation. They create a perfect ecosystem for growth. The rhythm of nature, warm summers, cool mountain air, gentle rain, shapes every fish in a way that no artificial system could ever imitate. When autumn arrives, the ponds begin to cool. The koi grow calmer, their colors deepen, their bodies reach their peak form. And now, it's time to lift them, to bring them out of the mud ponds and into the light once again. Each harvest tells a story of genetics, environment, care, and time. In this journey, we invite you to walk with us through 9 unforgettable days across Niigata, the heartlands of Japan's koi culture. Together, we will visit legendary names like Marudo, Isa, NAGOSHI, and Shinoda, Hosokai, and Marujyu, where generations have dedicated their lives to raising Nishikigoi. Each day, each pond, and each harvest brings its own emotions. You'll feel the tension as the nets draw tight. You'll feel the joy when hundreds of koi burst to the surface. And above all, you'll feel the love and passion that connect everyone in this world of Nishikigoi. This is not just a trip. It's a celebration of beauty, tradition, and life. Welcome to the harvest season in Niigata. Day 1, lucky draw at Marudo Koi Farm. After a long flight and a quiet ride from Tokyo, we finally arrived in Ojiya, Niigata, the birthplace of Nishikigoi. The air was crisp, carrying the faint scent of wet soil and rice straw. Autumn had truly begun. Our first stop was Marudo Koi Farm, one of the most respected names in the koi world. When we arrived at Marudo Koi Farm, the harvest had just finished. Trucks loaded with koi were pulling into the yard, water still dripping from the tanks. You could feel the energy in the air, the kind that lingers right after a busy morning at the ponds. Farm workers, still in their waterproof suits, moved quickly and quietly, carefully preparing to release those beautiful koi fish to nurturing pond in the safest way to keep them nice and healthy. Each tub was opened with care, revealing flashes of gold and bronze beneath the water. Freshly harvested Ginrin Karashi and Ginrin Chigoi, their scales shimmering under the afternoon sunlight. The fish looked strong, calm, and full of life. Every scoop from the net was deliberate, practiced, the kind of precision that only comes from decades of breeding and harvest seasons. Standing there, watching each koi being lifted from the tank, we could almost picture the scene from a few hours earlier. Even though we'd missed the harvest itself, the spirit of it was still everywhere. In the air, in the water, and in the proud smiles of everyone at Marudo. At Marudo, the sorting process follows strict categories. Tategoi, the most promising fish selected for further growth and development. This is the Tategoi pond for newly harvested today. The quality looks amazing, doesn't it? And on this side is the Sale Koi Pond. In this pond, there are many high-quality fish ready for customers and collectors. The harvest and koi releasing have just been done. That was a successful Nisai Karashi and Chagoi harvest today at Marudo Koi Farm. The koi has developed nice and healthy. I can't wait to attend the Gosanke harvest at Marudo in the next few days. Because many customers and dealers would love to buy a tategoi, and they are willing to buy with high price. Therefore, now it was time for the famous Marudo lottery sale. When the draw began, tension filled the room. One by one, each participant made their choice, some smiling proudly, others shaking their heads in playful regret. That day, we were lucky enough to draw the first number in the lottery. And honestly, it was tough to choose. Each person could choose only one fish each time. Everyone studied carefully, observing the body lines, color balance, and future potential. Every single fish looked stunning. It was dizzying. After a long moment of hesitation, we finally picked this one, and it felt just right. It was a Tancho Sanke with really good body and shiroji. The hachi is deep and sumi is glowing. By sunset, the day was ending. The tanks glowed under the orange light. We stood there quietly, watching the fish swim, feeling a mix of excitement and gratitude. It was only the first day, and already the magic of Niigata had begun. Day 2. Harvest Koi at Nagoshi Koi Farm. The morning mist rolled softly over the mountains of Toyama as we made our way to Nagoshi Koi Farm. The road curved gently through golden rice fields, still glistening from the recent harvest. The air was cool, fresh, and filled with that peaceful silence only the countryside of Japan can offer. Nagoshi Koi Farm is one of the well-known breeders in the Toyama region, a place where nature and craftsmanship come together in perfect balance. Their reputation is built on producing strong-bodied Gosanke and beautiful single-colored varieties, all raised in clean mountain water. The quality here is impressive, and the prices are considered quite reasonable, making Nagoshi a favorite destination for many koi enthusiasts, both in Japan and abroad. When we arrived, a breathtaking sight unfolded before us. A massive mud pond stretching across the valley, easily tens of thousands of square meters. This pond was one of Nagoshi's treasures, a place where young koi had spent the entire summer growing under natural sunlight and rich nutrients from the earth. Before the harvest began, the owner stepped forward, holding a small bottle of sake in both hands. He poured it gently into the water. This was a heartfelt prayer for a safe harvest, for healthy fish, and for blessings to all who would one day bring these koi home. Then, the call echoed across the pond. Farmers in waterproof gear stepped into the cold water, slowly pulled the heavy nets across the pond. The water began to stir. The air was filled with quiet excitement. Everyone knew that the next moment would be the highlight of the day. The water shimmered softly, and just below the surface, we could already see flashes of color, gently weaving together like a living mosaic. Beneath the reflection of the cloudy sky, the first koi appeared. Calm blue-gray asagi. Each movement of the net brought more colors to life, blending together like a moving painting on water. Let's watch the harvest with me. This one is a huge benigoi. Wow, the skin condition is so good. There will be hundreds of koi in the harvest today. The farmers worked quickly but carefully, guiding each fish into large round tubs. Every koi was handled with care, lifted gently, its body supported before being transferred to oxygenated transport tanks. This Yamabuki has a flawless scale, look even better under the sunlight. When the trucks began their journey back to the main facility, everyone followed behind. The excitement continued as the koi were released into the sorting tanks at the farm. The moment the water splashed and the fish swam free again, the sound of their tails cutting through the water echoed softly through the courtyard. A sound that every koi keeper loves to hear. Under the gentle autumn sunlight, the tanks were alive with movement. Koi of all sizes glided gracefully, some large and mature, others young but full of promise. Their colors seemed to glow under the natural light. The glowing yellow of Yamabuki, the fiery red of Benigoi. It was a mesmerizing sight, as if each fish carried a piece of the sky on its back. The atmosphere at Nagoshi Farm was calm but full of passion. You could feel the breeders' pride in every detail, from the perfectly clean tanks to the way each fish was handled gently but confidently. Their koi are not just raised to be beautiful, they are raised to be strong, balanced, and full of life. As the day came to an end, standing there, watching the koi swim quietly in the tanks, we couldn't help but feel grateful. Not only for the beauty of the fish, but for the harmony between nature, the breeder's dedication, and the timeless culture of Japanese koi keeping. That evening, the image of that vast pond stayed with us. A reminder that behind every beautiful koi is a story of patience, tradition, and respect for nature. Day 3 began early. By 7:30 a.m., the gates of Isa Koi Farm were already surrounded by cars and people. Today was one of the most anticipated events of the season, the lucky draw for 2-year-old Showa and Tancho. The energy was electric. Dealers and koi lovers from all around the world gathered at Isa Koi Farm today, all hoping to select high-quality Showa koi, some for their beautiful ponds, others to prepare for upcoming koi shows. I really love this lively atmosphere in Niigata during harvest season. Almost everyone eagerly raised their hands to join the lucky draw. Isa's staffs are transporting the Nisai koi into 4 main ponds. Inside the main ponds, hundreds of Showa glided gracefully. Their shiroji bright as snow. Their beni thick and glowing. Their sumi deep and strong. Nearby, Tancho with perfect red circles on their heads drew everyone's gaze, symbols of purity and simplicity. Isa's breeding style is distinct. Their Showa are famous for their dramatic contrast and balance. Sumi that lays with purpose. Beni that wraps the body beautifully. And a body shape that promises future power. As the draw began, the tension was palpable. Collectors leaned in, eyes scanning each fish, analyzing every pattern, trying to predict its potential years ahead. When their names were called, each stepped forward, hearts racing, to choose their koi. Applause, laughter, murmurs of approval, the sound of passion filled the farm. Even for those who didn't pick a fish, it was a joy to witness. These moments of excitement, of shared admiration, are what make koi culture so special. This is the male ponds at Isa Koi Farm. These 2-year-old male Showa have really high quality. And of course, very expensive. But everyone attending the lucky draw sale today is willing to pay to own many of them. Later, we wandered to Isa's jumbo koi house, where 4- and 5-year-old koi swam like living art pieces. Each one was massive, 70 to 80 centimeters of grace and strength. Standing before them, we felt both awe and humility. When the day ended, the cool wind carried the sound of water rippling in the tanks, a peaceful contrast to the energy of the morning. See you guys shortly in the next day. Day 4 began at Hosokai Koi Farm, a name known for elegance, balance, and refinement. Hosokai may not be among the largest koi farms in Niigata, but its reputation runs deep, built on individuality, on koi that carry both beauty and personality. When we arrived early in the morning, the air was cool and the mist still hung over the forest. The road leading to the harvest pond was lined with maple trees, their leaves just beginning to turn yellow, a quiet signal that autumn had truly arrived. The pond we visited was not large, but it was calm and beautiful. As we reached the edge, the Hosokai team had already begun hauling the net. The water rippled gently at first, but as the net drew closer, movement began, flashes of red, white, and black emerging from below the surface. The harvest had begun. The staff worked quickly and skillfully. With only a few people, each step was perfectly synchronized. There was no rush, no shouting, just quiet concentration and steady teamwork. It's always inspiring to watch how efficiently the Japanese breeders work. Even with such a small crew, they manage to handle hundreds of koi with calm precision. As the net tightened, the pond came alive. The surface shimmered with colors. Kohaku with clean white skin and sharp red plates, Sanke with delicate sumi spots, Showa with bold black patterns cutting across their bodies, and even a few asagi gliding softly beneath them, their blue scales shining like water itself. Each koi was gently lifted by hand into blue tubs, one by one, calm and careful. From there, they were transferred into oxygenated transport tanks and taken back to the farm. The harvest pond slowly returned to silence. Back at the main facility, the Hosokai team, led by the owner's son, immediately began sorting the koi. Buckets of freshly harvested fish lined the edge of the tanks, and under the crisp autumn light, their colors looked even more vivid. Together with him, we joined the process, separating koi for different purposes. Some were to be sold right away, ready for dealers and hobbyists around the world. Some were marked as tadagoi, special fish to be kept another year, to grow, develop, and perhaps one day become show-quality champions. It was fascinating to see how quickly and confidently they worked, judging and discussing each koi's future in just seconds. Their experience showed in every motion. Even after hours of harvesting, there was no sign of fatigue, only focus. That quiet determination, that respect for their work, it's something I truly admire about the Japanese breeders. With just a few hands, they manage to achieve so much. By noon, we said our goodbyes to the Hosokai team, deeply impressed not only by their koi, but by their spirit. In the afternoon, we made our way to Marudo Koi Farm, a family-run farm nestled between low hills, surrounded by the golden fields of Ojiya. As we arrived, Mr. Tanaka, the owner, greeted us with his signature smile. His shirt's still wet because he has already prepared Tosai pond for us to select. The farm had a cozy, welcoming atmosphere. Tanks of koi lined the courtyard, each reflecting the clear blue sky above. The sound of running water and the laughter of visitors filled the air. Mr. Tanaka personally guided us from tank to tank. We began selecting from the Tosai, 1-year-old koi. At first glance, they looked small, but as we studied them closely, we could see the potential written across their patterns and structure. The Kohaku had clean, balanced markings. The Koromo were powerful with elegant refinement. Every selection felt like a quiet discovery, like choosing the next generation of stars. Mr. Tanaka spoke warmly, explaining the lineage of each koi, sharing insights about body conformation, skin quality, and how to predict future development. He wasn't just selling koi, he was sharing knowledge, building connections, and helping us understand what makes each fish special. We spent nearly 2 hours here, discussing, observing, comparing, and in the end, carefully chose a small group of Tosai to bring home. What stood out most at Marujyu was the feeling of warmth. It didn't feel like a transaction, it felt like friendship. You could feel the passion behind every word, the sincerity behind every recommendation. As we left Marudo Koi Farm, we felt fulfilled, the kind of quiet happiness that only comes after a meaningful day. And as the car rolled through the narrow countryside roads, we couldn't help but think, days like these remind us why we love koi so much. Morning in the mountains of Ojiya. The first rays of sunlight filtered through the cedar trees, glowing softly against the mist that hovered above the valleys. We drove along a narrow, winding road that snaked deeper into the hills. It felt peaceful, but at the same time, you could feel a quiet excitement in the air, because today was one of the biggest days of the year, the Marudo 3-year-old harvest. When we finally arrived at the pond, it was like entering a sacred place. The pond lay still, surrounded by the gentle slopes of the mountain and forests. No sound except the whisper of the wind and the faint rustling of reeds at the water's edge. But beneath that calm surface, many of high-quality koi, the result of years of careful breeding, were waiting. Before the harvest began, the Marudo team gathered by the pond. It's a tradition. Before every major harvest, a bottle of sake is opened, and a few drops are gently poured into the pond, a gesture of respect and gratitude to nature for another year of life and growth. Farmers in waterproof suits step slowly into the cold water, carrying the wide nets. The first ripples appear, spreading outward like rings of anticipation. From above, we can see the colorful koi moving. Flashes of yellow, red, black, and white gliding just below the surface. The water comes alive. The net moves steadily, closing in inch by inch. You can feel the tension. Hundreds of koi swimming beneath them, powerful bodies stirring the pond into waves. As the net tightens, more colors erupt. Fiery reds, deep blacks, shimmering gold. When the koi are finally cornered, the team moves in with hand nets. Each koi is lifted gently, water cascading off its body. The sound of splashing mixes with the laughter and shouts of the workers. Everyone working together in perfect rhythm. I was lucky enough to be invited down into the pond to hold a few koi myself. It's hard to describe that feeling. The the weight, the warmth, the living power in your hands. These koi have spent months growing in this mud pond, and now they're coming home. Dozens of Gosanke, their bodies gliding and rolling beneath the surface, each one unique. From above, it looks like a moving painting. Nature and art blending into one living masterpiece. Together with the farm owner, we carried the koi from the pond to the truck. Watching the process up close is mesmerizing. The Kohaku glowing red like flame against pure white skin. Every motion is deliberate, practiced, years of experience in every gesture. Each fish looked enormous up close, thick, powerful bodies glistening under the sunlight. When the water splashed over their scales, the colors came alive even more vividly. Snow-white skin, deep crimson beni, and jet-black sumi that shone like polished ink. Some of the Showa were so massive. The farm staff, faces slightly flushed from the cold and the hard work, couldn't help but smile. Even though they were exhausted, you could see the pride in their eyes. That quiet satisfaction of another successful harvest, of seeing the results of a whole year's dedication gliding powerfully before them.
Yeah, how do you think about the fish quality? Very good, yeah, very good.
Once the tanks are full, the trucks slowly make their way down the mountain, heading back to Marudo's main farm. Back at the farm, the trucks arrive one by one. The team immediately begins unloading. Each koi is lifted from the transport tank, gently placed into a shallow basin of clean water, checked for condition, and then released into the farm's display tanks. The moment each fish touches the clear water, its color comes alive. Fiery red beni, deep black sumi, and brilliant white shiroji. Inside the sorting area, the breeders work meticulously. Each koi is checked against a list, noting the pond it came from, its bloodline, and its size compared to last season. This is one of the most important moments of the year. Evaluating the progress after a full season in the mud pond. The owner and his staff discuss quietly, deciding which fish will be kept as taregoi, the special ones with outstanding potential, and which will be prepared for sale. Dealers, collectors, and koi lovers from all over the world, Asia, Europe, and the US, all gathered, waiting to see this year's harvest. The air is full of excitement, chatter in different languages, laughter, and the occasional splash from a tank. It feels like a celebration, a festival of koi. All around us, visitors admired the koi, taking photos, recording videos, asking questions. Some were already making selections, others simply stood in silence, just appreciating the sheer beauty before them. The atmosphere was lively, but also deeply respectful. A shared love for koi that crossed every language barrier. The koi glowed under the fading sunlight, their colors deeper, more powerful than ever. Their patience, discipline, and passion, year after year, season after season, create not just koi, but living art. That's what makes days like this so unforgettable. As the last koi was gently released into the holding tank, the sound of splashing water faded into a soft calm. The pond that had been so full of life just hours ago was now still again. Only ripples remained, glimmering in the golden light of late afternoon. You could see it on everyone's faces, the mix of exhaustion and pride. The staff, soaked from head to toe, couldn't hide their smiles. Each fish was a result of their patience, care, and dedication through the long summer months. Watching the koi settle gently into their new ponds, swimming slowly under the clear water, was like watching energy itself, peaceful but powerful. That marked the end of the first part of our koi hunt trip in fall 2025. It's been an unforgettable day, from the quiet mountain ponds to the laughter and cheers by the water's edge. But our journey is far from over, because what's coming next will take everything to another level. In part 2, we'll continue this journey through the heart of Niigata. We'll experience the thrill of lifting nearly 1 meter long single-colored koi, join a special lucky draw at the home of one of Japan's top Doitsu Showa breeders, visit the world's leading Hiutsuri breeder, and finally witness the most breathtaking harvest deep in the mountains at Marudo Koi Farm. 4 more days, 4 more adventures. Each one promising new stories, new emotions, and new memories.